All right, welcome back to Member Index Page Part 2. In this one, we're gonna talk about the extended profile that user profile or member profile that BuddyPress brings in, and the custom fields that comes with it. So let's go take a look. All right, so previously we covered these few fields here, where they come from using ACF. But at this point, our focus will be the rest of it. For example, the name, the sporting event, a male or female, the gender, basically, whatever this is based on, and then the country and the class year or entrance year. So let's go take a look at the backend. To start, we have to focus on one of the users here. So let's go take a look. So this one is the profile that WordPress brings in, but this is the profile. The extended profile is being brought by BuddyPress. So let's go look. And when we get here, we see all our familiar fields here, the sports, the type, whether athlete or coach, the name, and then if we go down, I mean, all these extra fields we'll talk about when we go over the athlete profile page, which is probably the most complex part of the whole project, but we'll get much more detail into it when we get there. But for now, we're gonna just focus on whatever is involved in the index page creation. So for example, this male female, this is what we're basing on when we filter, let's say male, or go back to female. So this is what it is actually dictating, and then the country coming here and the enrollment year, and also this little bit of text, as you can see right here, these are also coming from here. Now let's go look where these are being generated. To find that out, we have to go under user and then profile fields. This is where it happens. To compare side by side, let's go change the look a little bit. We'll be right back. All right, so just to check out the location, this is the user. So we can just reduce it a little bit, so create more space. And this one is coming from the user and profile fields. We'll just let it be here. And now if we look at side by side, see, this name is generating here, and athlete coach right here, and the sports, whenever you choose something, that is reflected right here. And now let's go over the other ones. Okay, so the member bio should be right here. So that's pretty much what is generating all these fields per user basis under the extended profile. So the rest, you get the point. And the other ones, these custom ones, we once again will cover when we go over the athlete profile. And there's another plugin that's involved. We'll take a look at. So now that we know pretty much where all these guys are coming from, the backend, and which plugins are being used, let's go dig down to the code level and the template level to see what's happening when it comes to the implementation of these on the front end. All right, we're back into the code. As you can see, we have WP content here, the theme, and themes folder, and the actual theme folder here, and all the necessary files are right here. And this is where we're going to explain how we can turn a default BuddyPress member index into something heavily customized page like this. But before we get into the templating files, I need to show you something under plugins folder. There is a file called bp-custom.php. This is pretty much the functions.php file for WordPress, but this one is very specific to BuddyPress, only BuddyPress functions. And in here, only two functions I am using. I'm using this filter to control how many items right there, how many member items I can hold per page. I'm pretty much overriding the WordPress default, which is 10 items per page. I'm using this filter to set it to 50. And the other thing is controlling the shape and size of these avatar images. For this, I'm using these specific definitions right here, very specific to BuddyPress, to control them into 250 by 250 size. That being said, let's get into the templating. All right, before getting into the templating files, let me show you one thing. Right here, I have a piece of code in the footer that usually shows me which template I am on. Here it is showing only page.php, but that's not actually what's happening, because that's the BuddyPress's default way of handling all its custom templates. But at the back end, this is what's happening. To actually take over the BuddyPress's templating files, we have to dig into the plugins, BuddyPress, BP templates, and BP-Nuevo, and then BuddyPress. I took out this folder. This Nuevo is pretty much, this is the latest and the greatest one. So I took this BuddyPress folder and got out of the plugin and dropped it right here. And once you do that, this becomes yours. As you can see, this number 1, 2, 3, this is something that I played around with the defaults. Like at the beginning, I took the default code and I added my tiny little CSS in here and some custom HTML I added, like index.php under members folder. So pretty much this is how I isolated where everything is, what they look like. And that's why, I kept adding these numbers with smaller changes. But to get to the actual index file, this is it. This is the index file. The initial one was just very simple like that. And then after lots of changes, I turned it into like this. Pretty much took over the whole thing. Added the top blue bar, top nav bar index, the filters, the blue bar, the index, and these are all the code for all the necessary drop downs, which we will come back later when we go over all the JavaScript and the filter code. Here's the advanced filter one. Finally, we come here. This is where I'm actually defining the size, calling it a row, which is a class from Bootstrap, and these are the column code. So basically I am taking this part and dividing into two parts. The left side is 9 column and the sidebar has 3 column right here, 3 column and 9. This is the line that's holding the entire page. This whole entire page is basically being dropped. This part is actually from BuddyPress itself, and they use Ajax to generate the results. But to get to this inside content, you have to go to the members loop. As you can see, I have multiple of them. The original looked like this, and then my current one look like this.